Unit 30. Gateway. In economics, there is a principle known as the sunk cost fallacy. The idea is that when you are invested and have ownership in something, you overvalue that thing. This leads people to continue on paths or pursuits that should clearly be abandoned. For example, people often remain in terrible relationships simply because they've invested a great deal of themselves into them. Or someone may continue pouring money into a business that is clearly a bad idea in the market. Sometimes, the smartest thing a person can do is quit. Although this is true, it has also become a tired and played-out argument. Sunk cost doesn't always have to be a bad thing. Actually, you can leverage this human tendency to your benefit. Like someone invests a great deal of money in a personal trainer to ensure they follow through on their commitment. You, too, can invest a great deal up front to ensure you stay on the path you want to be on. Exercise 1. Capitalism is generally understood as a market-based economic system governed by capital, that is, the wealth of an individual or an establishment accumulated by or employed in its business activities. Entrepreneurs and the institutions they create generate the capital with which businesses provide goods, services, and payments to workers. Defenders of capitalism argue that this system maximally distributes social freedoms and desirable resources, resulting in the best economic outcomes for everyone in society. On this view, businesses' only social responsibilities are to maximize legally generated profits. However, over the past several decades, there has been a significant reaction against this view. It is argued that businesses have responsibilities far beyond following the law and profit-making. When society accepts capitalism, this view holds, it need not also accept the view that economic freedom always has priority over competing conceptions of the collection and distribution of social goods, or of other responsibilities owed to employees, customers, society, and the environment. Exercise 2. The relationship between crisis and social change is a bit like the relationship between a rainstorm and a mudslide. The rain doesn't give the mudslide its power that comes from the weight of earth built up over decades. What the rain can do is loosen things up, creating the conditions for change. Britain's post-Second World War settlement didn't solve the problems of the war. It addressed the pent-up problems of the 1930s, and its intellectual ingredients dated back further, to the opening years of the 1900s. Likewise, America's New Deal of the 1930s was triggered by the Great Depression, but the issues it addressed and the approaches it applied emerged decades before, in the progressive and populist movements of the 1890s and 1900s. So, if the 2020 pandemic does lead to a radical social renewal, then the main elements of that renewal will be visible already today. Exercise 3. The characteristics of an agricultural society affected its long-run growth pattern prior to the Industrial Revolution, while self-sufficiency and land dependency limited the motivation to increase the yield. Even though some attempts were made to reform agricultural production, the low level of technologies available could not capitalize on the effect of those attempts. Moreover, inelasticity in demand, instability in supply, and price divergence prevented the capital accumulation needed for reinvestment in agricultural technologies. All of these factors created a vicious circle such that agricultural production could not boom. Increasing agricultural production to feed a growing world population, while at the same time conserving resources for future generations, has led to a search for sustainable agricultural methods. As a result, the agricultural society showed a long-term decelerating growth pattern in history.